Lots of people come to Byron Bay to enjoy the beaches, surfing, diving, the cluster of boutique shops, bars and restaurants. The slogan on the Byron welcome sign as you come into town sums up the place. Cheer up, slow down, chill out. The headland you see on the top left is the Australian mainland's most easterly point. Quietly shuttling back and forth behind the sand dunes between Byron Town Centre and North Beach is a world first. What makes this train different is it's the world's first solar train. The striking Art Deco gold trim livery on the front of the train matches perfectly with the cowcatcher. A short walk from the central shops in Byron, you'll find the entrance to the Byron Beach station. The solar train was bang on time at 1:15 the hour. Normal for Japan and Germany, but the words on-time trains and Australia don't normally fit together. As the train pulls in here, you can see the groups of solar panels on the roof of the carriages. This footage was shot over 3 different days over about a 2-year period, so you may notice a few different weather conditions and Lee's different clothing. Our friendly conductor on this trip was Candy, and she issued us with old school, authentic, hard cardboard tickets. It took me back to my childhood. It's funny the things you forget until you see them again. Return tickets cost $10 per adult. Children under 14 were $6 return, and kids under 6 were free. The train staff were really friendly and open to a chat. I've been on some heritage trains where the staff think the customers are clearly in irritation and don't want to talk. This holds a charge for the whole day? Do you charge it?
No, we charge it throughout the day.
Okay.
Especially on a day like today. We could probably get through the day on a single full charge, but we like to keep the batteries topped up. And we've got solar panels on our shed down here.
So when you get the other end, you give it a bit of a boost up?
Yeah, about 3 times a day. I'll do that. And we're connected to the grid, so with our solar panels on the shed, we pump electricity back. We also sometimes take from it. But also we've just got some new big batteries in the shed there.
Storage.
So we should be, a bit more self-sufficient now because there's some pretty big industrial size batteries. So
right.
Yeah.
That's like a car thing, is it? Like the same as a car?
Just a dash cam. It's mainly for the level crossing.
I imagine.
Plenty of
insurance, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
No worries.
Huh? And off we go, departing Byron Beach. Don't expect speeds of 240 kilometres an hour like the Shinkansen in Japan or the maglev in Shanghai at 300 kilometres an hour. This train might be slow, but it's just as fun. Remember the Byron slogan, cheer up, slow down and chill out. I can get a bit of video in here while you're doing this.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, thanks. It felt a bit funny having open access to the driver's compartment. Years ago, we used to be able to go into the pilot's cockpit during flights, but nowadays everything's locked up. This is a 660 class train and is made up of 2 cars. The first car was originally built in 1949 and the second was built in 1962. 65 years later, work began to convert the engine from diesel to solar power to become the world's first solar train. And it started carrying passengers again, this time using the sun's rays instead of fossil fuel in 2017. This section of track has one level crossing. There are no boom gates at the crossing, so I would imagine that this part of the journey is the most stressful for the train driver, having to worry about people crossing at the last minute. For passengers, the horn blast just adds to the experience. Oh yeah, great. And this is a key for the door, is it? Or
yeah, that's
this
the
thing?
key.
Yeah. Yes. Door, great. All right, thank you.
If you want, have you seen the star?
Yes, it's like I think I've seen on other trains where it's just like a physical way of stopping people having collisions. My understanding is that the key is needed to be physically handed over to a driver that wants to enter a single track, and that way it prevents one train coming in thinking he's got right of way. As one train leaves a section of single track, they hand the key off to a signalman who then hands that key to the next train wanting to enter. Maybe the highlight of the trip is the river crossing. Technically it's Belongil Creek, but it looks like a little river. From this aerial, you can see where Belongil Creek flows out into Byron Bay on the right. You can also make out where the current line stops at North Byron Station and the remnants of the old main line continuing north, where the line looks a bit overgrown. The train currently terminates at North Beach and will wait there for 35 minutes before departing back to Byron Beach. Turning left from the train station exit, about 150 metres directly up the street is the North Byron Hotel. You could go there for a quick bevy, that's a beverage if you're not Australian, before strolling back to the train. Or you could skip the next return and give yourself an hour and a half to have lunch. That's the option we went for. They have a good lunch and a nice atmosphere at the hotel with a nice beer garden out the back. The train also has a ride-in style package for an extra $20 where you can get a return ticket on the train and have lunch included at the hotel. If you're really limited on time, you could always drive to North Byron and start your journey from there, as the turnaround time at Byron Beach is only about 5 minutes instead of the 35 minutes at North Byron. More relaxing version is to chill out and have lunch and a drink at North Byron. I had a schnitty, that's to say a chicken schnitzel, and Lee had the whiting. If you don't know what whiting is, it's a popular fish. And there's plenty of drinks on tap to wash down the good value meals. The quality and price was excellent. Last time, instead of turning left, we walked down to the right towards Elements of Byron. That's the 5-star resort up that way. Back at the station, the train is already parked up and ready to go, and you can see the storage shed that not only shields the train when it's not in use, but is also used to charge it. The combination of solar panels on the roof of the train and the storage shed itself enables most of the power generated to be fed back to the community electricity grid. Both stations have ramps, and most non-motorised wheelchairs will fit through the 660mm wide train doors, so there should be no problem getting on. The carriages are also fitted with regenerative brakes that generate energy used to recharge the train's batteries when the train is braking. This is inside the southern carriage, or the front of the train when it's heading towards Byron Beach. The seats in this car look a little older, and the driver's compartment is separated by a much larger conductor's cabin that may have previously been used for goods, mail and other large items. It also appears to have more general public room for prams, wheelchairs, and also has bike stands installed. The walls at the ends of the carriages have some display cabinets, information and photos about the history of the train. Off we go again, right on time, heading back to Byron Beach. The carriages were constructed at the Chullora Railway Workshops in Sydney a few years after World War II. Those workshops were previously used to build the front fuselage, undercarriage, stern frames and nacelles of Beaufort bombers. The Beaufort was essentially a twin-engine torpedo bomber that was used in Europe, the Mediterranean and the Pacific theatres. Aircraft are still on display at a number of museums in Australia, the UK and the USA. That same aluminium aircraft technology used to build the Beaufort bombers was adapted to produce the high-performance, lightweight trains. The maximum speed back then was around 112 kilometres an hour. Back across the bridge to the right of the train, it looks like a green belt of wilderness stretching away to the hills as a nice backdrop, even though we're only minutes away from the busy Byron Central part of town. More specific history of this particular train can be found on the Byron Solar Train website. A few more toots of the horn as we approach the level crossing to warn the traffic that we're coming through, and you can see alternating warning lights flashing on the front of the train also. The train runs on a restored section of track on the old Casino to Murwillumbah line that was out of use for about 13 years. The original line was started in 1891, opening in 1894, and ran until services were suspended in 2004. Lucky for us, we can still enjoy riding this piece of history as it started carrying passengers again, this time using the sun's rays instead of fossil fuel in 2017. A common sight along the track, you'll see people heading to the beach with towels and surfboards. There are a lot of sand track shortcuts from the back of the motels across to the beach that allow you to see the train up close as it cruises by. And we're back, easing into Byron Station. You can see just how close the station is to the main shops at Byron, just a quick short walk. The train runs 364 days a year, only taking a break on Christmas Day. So if you want to do something a bit different and travel on the world's first solar train, I'd catch the train from Byron Beach Station, either going for lunch and give yourself about 2 hours to eat and do the return trip, or turn right from Byron Beach Station and walk down to the beach, cutting across the golf course. Just after the Elements Hotel, you can cut across and you can see a path over to the beach. But I'd take some water with you along with your beach towel because it can get pretty hot during summer. I'm not a train spotter in particular, but if you like trains, I have many other videos to edit still with different trains from around the world. Heritage trains like the West Coast Wilderness Railway in Tasmania, the Teddy Bears Picnic train in South Australia, through to various bullet trains in Japan, high-speed rail in the UK and Russia, and the maglev in Shanghai, and the Puffing Billy in Victoria and the Zigzag Railway in New South Wales. But mainly the channel does hotel reviews and surrounds and how to get there, and also interesting locations around the globe. Bye-bye till next time to the solar train. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the upcoming travel videos. In the meantime, the train will be shuttling back and forth, making use of the sunshine up on Byron Bay.